Can I see some thumbs up? Is that a thumbs up or a question? Okay. Okay. See. Cool. All right. So, like I said, the access of learning exists, and all of these elements are there. We are planning a few interesting meetups, virtual and offline, for those who can make it. We will communicate that in the days to come. So the policy system is a Sisyphean marathon. Sisyphus is this tragic Greek hero who was cursed by the gods to push a rolling boulder over a hill. So the nature of public policy problems are also similar. It is a wicked problem. Each problem, when you try to solve, it comes back in a different form. So this is a good representation of the system that exists. Policy, very broadly, according to R.V.V. Iyengar in the seminal work Public Policy Making in India, is a set of decisions which either puts out directives for immediate and future action or conduct, or gives guidelines for implementation of action or conduct that is already approved. For example, the Constitution guarantees a right to education in Article 21, I believe, and the Right to Education Act of 2010, the Samagra Shiksha, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan of 2003, and Samagra Shiksha, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha in the future, and National Education Policy. All of these are operationalization of those acts, and that both consists of both become policy, both put together. Who's responsible for policy? All and any of the organs of the state: the executive, legislature, and judiciary. There's a very interesting and funny sort of video on public policy. That's a conversation between two of the organs of the state and about one of the third. It's a minute. I'll just play it.
Well, let's come to the roof garden.
Yes, with pleasure. This was a part of a wide variety of roof insulation schemes, which the government was testing in the interest of fuel economy.
But £75,000.
Well, it was thought that the sale of flowers and vegetable produce might offset the cost.
And did it?
No.
Then why not abandon the garden?
Well, it's there now, and it does insulate the roof, and we aren't building any more.
But you wasted £75,000.
Well, it was government policy to test all proposals for fuel saving.
At this fantastic waste of the taxpayers' money, you agree the money was wasted?
It's not for me to comment on government policy. You must ask the minister.
Look, Sir Humphrey, whatever we ask the minister, he says is an administrative question for you. And whatever we ask you, you say is a policy question for the minister. How do you suggest we find out what's going on?
Yes. I do see that there is a real dilemma here. In that, while it has been government policy to regard policy as the responsibility of ministers and administration as the responsibility of officials, the questions of administrative policy can cause confusion between the policy of administration and the administration of policy, especially when responsibility for the administration of the policy of administration conflicts or overlaps with responsibility for the policy of the administration of policy.
Well, that's a load of meaningless dribble, isn't it?
It's not for me to comment on government policy and ask the minister.
That's a little bit of British humor for you. It's dry, but it's witty. So what is public policy as a discipline? It is like any applied science, similar to maths or physics. When applied becomes engineering, and medicine is applied biology or physiology. Applied economics, political science, and psychology, and a few other disciplines is public policy, broadly speaking. And why should we care about public policy? Because of the distinctiveness of the state and the power it wields. It is the only institution that legitimately can use force, and it has a justified means of monetizing deficit in case of the state failure. That means it can be bailed out. It can raise funds for in the name of development and things like that. So we heard of failed states so many times, but none of them have crumbled and been absorbed by another state. Why? Because the institutional mechanisms exist to protect the state from failure. And that's why everybody must study and engage with public policy, because there's a wide range of impact on a large cross-section of society. What is public policy analysis? Many of you ask this question and want to be analysts. Simply put, it looks at measuring the efficacy or the efficiency towards the ends or the goals that are outlined in the policy. What is analysis? It breaks a complex issue into simpler components and puts these information or information from these components in contexts. So a policy analyst might evaluate policy either in terms of their own stated or revealed objectives, or by comparing them to some relevant reference point. One important thing to note is policy analysis set of skills and outcomes. It's not necessarily a designation the way traditional careers and traditional job roles are. Very briefly, we also discussed about the agents of change. The typical idea of society or of order is the state on one side and the market on the other side, and the individual at the middle, choosing when to engage with the state and when to engage with the market. This is not necessary, and that's why capitalism, socialism as a dichotomy and the bipolar world sort of exists. This is not necessarily a good model. The model proposed by Rohini Nilekani, Srimati Rohini Nilekani of the Rohini Nilekani Philanthropies, in her seminal work, the Samaj Sarkar Bazaar, Society, States and Markets, a citizen first approach, talks about a pyramid and individual at the center of it, and state, markets and society complementary to each other, giving services. Wherever society fails, state steps in, state fails, market steps in, market fails, society steps in. So that Matsya Nyaya, that the what do you call it, the bigger fish eating the smaller fish, doesn't prevail, and everybody is served equitably. Lastly, some key takeaways while looking at this, while building an orientation towards this. We all live inside the policy system and we must engage with it. We understand the systems by analyzing its parts and their interaction and not as a whole. Context matters, culture matters, history matters, power matters, and time matters. Analysts love data and seldom get the data that they want. All analysts are biased, only some are transparent. Institutions matter. Completion is in complementarity and compatibility. Never give up. Persistence is key to getting things done in the policy space.